Moving on to charity now. When it comes to charity, Irish people are seen as generous givers worldwide, but the way things are now in the economy, are people still giving as much money? I'm going to be speaking with Hanniffy, CEO of Fundraising Ireland, in just a moment. But first of all, our reporter Aisling Riordan has been looking into some of the main findings of some new research.
Thanks, Keelin. Well, in the past 3 months, 85% of Irish adults aged 16 years and above claim they've donated to a charity, with the average amount being €59. The survey suggests that Irish people are more interested in donating to local charities and domestic intervention-based charities with frontline services and charities related to illness. So how do people donate? Well, according to this research, more than half of people donate through church and on-street collections, which shows a lot of charity giving is actually unplanned. Now, as you would expect, Christmas is a big time for donations, but there's a certain way to bring in the most amount of cash, and that's through public appeals. Charities who had them saw an increase in the number of donations and amounts received. And finally, this has been a contentious issue, charities and what their staff is paid. Well, more than half of those surveys said that charities should have the best staff, but the amount senior managers are paid would make them less likely to donate. Also, only 1 in 5 strongly agreed that charities need to pay competitive wages to get the best people. Keelin.
Aisling, thank you very much indeed. Well, I'm joined now by Hanniffy, CEO of Fundraising Ireland. Anne, thanks for coming in this morning. So just pick up on that last point, that people want the charities to be well run, but they don't want to pay very much for this.
Absolutely. The research done by Fundraising Ireland showed up some really interesting results. 94% of the public said that charities should be run well and be really good at what they do. And 75% said they should be paid a competitive wage, which is huge. However, on the other side of this, only 22% said they should be paid a competitive wage. I mean, what this really points out is that the public expect that the private sector and the non-for-profit sector to have 2 different rule books, really, and to be run in 2 different ways. And that also that people working for charities should do so for altruistic reasons, which, let's face it, altruism really doesn't always produce the best results.
But Anne, I mean, do you not think they have a point? I mean, if you're handing over a tenner, it's at after-tax money, and you want it to go to a cause that's dear to your heart, you don't really want it to go to funding somebody to administer that £10 or €10.
Well, absolutely you do, because you do need to be invested in the organisation. Let's take an example. Let's say the private sector stopped tomorrow paying their staff competitive wages, stopped doing advertising, stopped doing public relations, stopped doing marketing. They would sell nothing. It is exactly the same for charities. They would not be able to help more people unless they've got the best people working for them. So we have to think about investing in the organisation, and you will get more output of that. And that brings me to an important point. Charities should be measured the same way as the private sector. Return on investment. Let's measure this on our outputs and our achievements, and not just on our overheads.
But how do you do that?
You can measure of the amount of money that you put in, the amount of money that you're raising.
So no, explain that to me, that the amount of money a charity raises, surely it's more on the outcome of what they do with that money than how much they raise.
It is, it's both. But, you know, for example, we could be running a conference, or you could be running an event, a charity event. You have to have a certain amount of money, invest a certain amount of money to get an amount out of that. I mean, that just makes sense. So you want to have a good return on that investment. It cost me $20,000 to run this event, but I'm going to get $60,000 from it.
Okay,
you know,
fair enough on that.
Yeah.
But Anne, can I ask you, what are people in charities earning? What are the CEOs of the big charities earning?
It's everywhere. It depends, and it depends on their number of employees. It depends on their outputs, and it depends on their income. And
ballpark. I mean, we all know the big ones in Ireland.
It can anything from 80,000, I think, to about 250,000.
250,000. That much for running a charity. I'd have to say, I am sure most viewers looking in think that is unseemly. You know, that €250,000 coming out of public donations to go to somebody's wages.
Well, let me put it this way. Would the public think that it's bad to invest money in something that is helping people, that is helping people to find a cure for cancer, that is helping people to find homes, that is helping...
No, of course they don't think that. Of course they don't think that. But what they do think is that 250,000 is a bit excessive for administering that fund.
Do they think it's excessive for a private organisation?
It's different. Do you not see that there's a different perception for private organisations and charities?
The perception is different, but I think it's up to organisations like Fundraising Ireland to change that mindset. If we want to be helping more people in Ireland, we have to be...
You're basically saying if you want charities to achieve their aims and to help people, you are going to have to fork out the big bucks.
We're going to have to pay them competitive wages.
OK, competitive wages, fair enough, but $250,000?
I'd say that's maybe a small, maybe one or two charities. It's a mine. If you want the whole scale, the average, I'd say, is under 100,000.
OK, listen, we're going to have to leave it there. Anne, thank you very much indeed, and good luck with your conference.